Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead tarot scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you've got your card, the Hierophant, right? Now, in a lot of ways, this tells me that there's something about you that you are trying to establish this week, whether this is some sort of personal authority, whether this is you maybe deciding to create something that sets you apart from your competitors. This doesn't have to just be in work. This could be in love. It could be with your money. It could just be with life in general. There's something about this that kind of suggests to me that you are changing the way that you do things, right? Remember, this card is a card of your of initiations to a point, but it's also a card of your rituals, the things that you do on a very sort of mundane day-to-day basis. Those are the things that establish who you're going to be and what your results are going to be. And this week it does feel like you are shifting or changing something in that regard, and that's in turn going to shift the way that the world interacts with you in general. With that, if you are a continued subby, you know I love you for it. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. For your actions and options this week, you've got the Hanged Man, right? So taking your time with it, but for some of you, this is a very, very spiritual week. This is, I mean, for some of you, I would say this looks like a spiritual cleanse, possibly a spiritual detox of some sort. Maybe this is a week where you're going dark, right? So there's going to be no social media or a lot less of it than usual. Maybe this is where you are, for some of you, really starting to get into some form of spiritual work and or study. In a lot of ways, I kind of feel like this is a lot of you really delving deeper to find some of the answers to why certain things keep cropping up for you, why certain experiences keep happening. And it's like, rather than go into that sort of like, oh, why is this happening to me? It's like, you know what? I'm going to go inward and I'm going to get more answers that way. Remember, this is a card of stasis and stillness. The other thing this tells me as well is it looks like a lot of you have decided this week to stop giving more than you get. It's about bloody time. Right, for your communications and conversations, you've got the King of Wands. So you've got this underneath the Hierophant card. It would not surprise me if some of you are having sit-down meetings, whether in person or via Zoom, with what I would call power players, all right? So people in positions of authority, people in positions of power. This could be with a boss, it could be with a benefactor, it could be somebody that wants to collaborate with you. There's a really strong meeting coming in here. Now, remember what I said to you here, right? So whether this is your boss because you work with somebody else, whether this is somebody that wants to work with you, remember, we're no longer doing this thing where we're giving more than we get. That King of Wands is also asking you in your communications to shine, baby, shine, right? The King of Wands is not shy about asking for what he wants or for what he needs. And this is encouraging you to put yourself out there more. So for those of you that work for somebody else, this could be a sit down with the boss where you say, look, you know what? I have done, maybe I've run half of the department on my own for the last 6 to 8 months because of the world situation. I want more money. I want more responsibility. This could be actually a really good week to ask for that kind of thing. If you are, self-employed, you work for yourself, this could be a week where you really start to get some idea of what it is that you are trying to establish and what it is that you want to be known for, where you want your company to go and how you want them dividends to come back. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, for you guys, this is very different. And I kind of feel like this is you now really coming into a newfound sense of your own spiritual power. This is you paying attention to the way that things actually are versus the way that you would like them to be. And what I like about this is that realism gives you the power to change it, right? That's the whole point of all of this. Whether it's your astrology, your numerology, Are there some things that are set in stone? Yes. How you get to those points and where you go from them is completely up to you. It's fate and free will, not fate versus free will. I cannot stress that enough. I've said it for almost the last decade. I've been saying that. I just had to think like, oh my gosh, it's been nearly 10 years, right? That has always been my message. You always have a choice. Are there things that your soul signed up for? You're damn right. Can you get out of them? No. Why? Because you signed up for it at that soul level. Take a moment to ponder that. And if you want to argue it out, I'll see you in the comments. I'm such a dork. For your love and relations, you've got the Seven of Cups. So for some of you, it does look like the relationship is a little bit of a bugbear this week. Not for all of you, just for some, right? And why the reason I say this is you personally have a little bit of a confusing energy here. And I kind of feel like this is maybe you're looking at the partnership and like, well, you know, what can I change about it? What can you enhance about it is probably a better place to look. And also, where are there too many constraints or too many demands on the relationship for it to really flourish? That's one of the questions I want you to ask. For some of you, this could be a week where you decide you want more of a spiritual connection and maybe your partner's just a bit like, what do you want? What do you need? Right? It's not a bad thing. It's just there's a little bit of confusion here as to what you really require. And I think because you're in the process of really getting clear of what you require now, it may sort of create a little bit of a around the relationship. It's not forever, it's just for a moment while you really figure out what your next steps are. For those of you that are single, I gotta be honest, this is a little bit of a disillusionment. It's like, you know what? I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I don't even know if at this point, if I want it to happen. And to be honest with you, I've got so much going on with myself that I'm not sure I'm in the place or the space to date. That's fine. But if there is somebody else in the picture, just be really honest with them. For your money and materials, you've got the Ace of Cups, of course, right? Taurus and money. Right, so the money that you need is definitely making its way to you. There's a lot of water here, all right? All of this here is all water because this is Neptune / Pisces energy. Got a little bit of fire, got a little bit of earth. There's no air here, all right? So I guess one of the things that you could try this week, when you can feel things getting, bring it into the mind. Ask yourself what you're missing, all right? Now, finances look very good this week. Your money is looking tip-top. That Ace of Cups suggests a blessing of some sort. Money that comes to you without you having to really work hard for it. For some of you, this could be because you have the guts to ask for more, to go for more. Maybe for some of you, this is deciding to charge for something that you never have before, which is really interesting. For your physical health and vitality, I love this card for health and vitality because it always suggests that you're just feeling good in and of yourself. The energy levels are up, the body feels good, things feel easy with the Ace of Cups, which is nice. And then when it comes to the home and environment, this is good news that comes into the home, maybe through the partnership, but it's likely to be more on the material level for a lot of you. So your full moon message, remember whenever I'm talking full moon, your full moon is in the 4th house for you. It's in the sign of Leo on the 16th of February. And you've got the gate 19 and sensitivity, right? So your home, life and sector, that's where the power is for you this week. That's where the energy comes from. It's where you feel safe. Your home truly is your sanctuary this week. And that full moon is really putting a spotlight on and a highlight on how your relationship enhances your entire life, or how the lack of a relationship at this moment in time may be holding you back. I really think, if I'm honest, this is going to be a week where, remember what I said about you re-establishing yourself? What is a butterfly? It's the process of change and metamorphosis. So there is something about you that's shifting this week. And with a full moon in the 4th house, the 4th house in ancient astrology was an occult house. So this is about your roots, your family, the depths of where you've come from. All of that is starting to change now as you bring in new traditions, new ideas. And this is the thing as well, like this is a card of tradition, right? it always, like when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, you know, I wasn't born into a family of witches, or I wasn't da-da-da-da-da. And then one day I was just like, well, so what? They were all started by someone. I'll start the tradition in my family. And whoever comes from, you know, even if they're not directly my children, I will pass my knowledge and my wisdom and all of my skills and all of my gifts to whoever comes after me. You know, like you can start a new tradition at any point in your life. Just because you haven't had one handed to you doesn't mean that you don't have one to hand to somebody else in the world, or to give to the world in general. With that said, rant and soapbox moment over. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes out. Take care, and I'll see you soon.